Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black But 91. We are giving you guys another video on the Lani Good and Tionw situation. I wanted to break it down from a very serious standpoint. We're talking about trauma, and we're talking about how people deal with trauma and how it presents itself. When you've been betrayed in such a way, it can trigger things that have happened to you in the past, and actually when it presents itself in the present, it seems more larger than life. And actually what the real truth is that there's real wounds that are down below underneath the surface of what we're seeing that have been tackled and have been touched and have been hurt again, and the reaction seems more wilder than it should be. And so I wanted to break it down a little bit in terms of what Lani Good is going through and how she's dealing with the Tionw situation, right? Because we are in a generation where now we know this word trauma. We speak about it all the time, but we're still in need of understanding how it can present itself and why people behave sometimes the way they do. So before we go any further, if you're new to the channel, like it, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. And for those of you returnees, really know what it is, baby. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. All right, let's talk a little bit about Lani Good's situation. I'm going to bring it up and for you on the screen here. But just as a quick definition, if you want a light, loose definition of trauma, it is an emotional response to a terrible event like an accident, like sexual violence, a natural disaster, and immediately after the event, shock, denial, anger, frustration, can take place after the event has happened. Oftentimes people go into freeze or flop. They sometimes can have amnesia of the moment. There are so many different responses that people have, but it is an emotional response to an event, okay, that triggers an individual in those instances. So in this particular instance, what we're dealing with here, and that's a very loose trauma definition, by the way, guys. It's not the most amazing one. In this event here we're dealing with, I wanted to say this first and foremost, if you're watching this, there is strong language. Please, if your kids, because I know sometimes your kids watch me, please, this video is not for the kids. This one is not for the kids because there's strong language. I didn't have time to edit the video, and it's on the internet, so I'm not about to go through it. Please, there's strong language. So if you're watching me, I appreciate it. If you're a Christian, you're saying you can't handle strong language, you might have to log off too. But it's a very important topic that I want to discuss, and the way it happens is why I didn't want to edit it. I need you to focus on what's going to happen here, okay? All right, so this is Lani Good. If you've known her, she's been on Backchat UK. She's quite an outspoken individual person, gives her broad opinions, and she unfortunately was defrauded by Tionw, all right, around about the sum of £8,000, right? Now, here's the most important thing. I've also been defrauded before, right, around about 4K. And listen, 4K for me was a lot of money. I didn't have the money, but I didn't react like this. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because I think there's something deeper than just the betrayal here, because the betrayal wasn't by a friend. The betrayal here was by her lover. And sometimes what happens in relationships is that we put all our strength and our eggs into a partner who will do us differently to what we've experienced in our childhood. I had the luxury of discussing certain things, with people and learning from them and experiences. And from what I hear about Lani Good per se, there is some childhood experiences that have been very traumatic. And this relationship added to that trauma, thus presenting what we're seeing on the screen in a minute or two of this frustration, this pain, this hurt, this seemingly ugly response that everyone is so annoyed about when they say, Lani keeps going on about the situation. Why does she keep talking about Tionw? Why don't she just let it go? She can't let it go because of what she's experienced. She's gonna need some therapy. I ain't gonna lie to you, right? But let's listen a little bit to what she's got to say, and then we'll break it down a little bit more.
Asked if Tionw said his card wasn't working. Tionw said his card wasn't working. I had no money in my bank account. I was broke. These times I was probably on like 21 to 23,000 per annum, and I had no money in my bank account. So he was just like, babes, I'm gonna put money in your account. I've got to buy something, my car's not working. Tionw put a direct debit on my card for a 10K Rolex. Now, this is what you lot are missing. When I found out, I panicked straight away and I said, why have you done this? Why have you put a direct debit on my account? Tionw looked me dead in the eye and basically said, I will never, ever, ever do you dirty. And you fucking said that shit. You fucking said that shit. I never gave you permission to take the card out on my fucking card. I never did. You're a fucking liar. You're one time.
Now, this is one part of the video. I'll show you the rest of the video. But I intentionally brought that up because it goes from 0 to 100 so quickly, right? And the most important part of where it goes from 0 to 100 is at the betrayal, right? When he says, I'm going to give you my word, right? Which is this. I would never, ever do that to you. I would never, ever do that to you, right? Sometimes as men, we think that, you know, our betrayal of a woman or our cheating or our manipulation is light work. It's small things, yeah? Until you have a daughter and until you have a sister, it's suddenly not light work, right? So she's a culmination now of a situation where a brother has taken advantage, has lied to her face. And it's why the Bible says that God even himself hates lies because of what it does to the individual person, right? See, we might think, oh, it's a small little lie, but it's caused trauma here, right? And also I think there's probably something in the family situation for her where maybe someone hasn't held their word or she's been betrayed or has been abandoned before. So his word was like gold, right? So as soon as he decides that she finds out that he's lying, that is a bigger betrayal than a lot of us would feel, right? She still felt the betrayal that you and I would probably feel, but the intensity increases because it's a not again feeling, right? If you've been done dirty before and you get done dirty again, the energy, the feeling intensifies. And sometimes what happens is some people can't handle the pain and they just go, I can't be bothered with it anymore. I hate men. I'm not going to date men ever again. Right? Their response to the trauma, when especially if it's happened multiple times now, is to quit. Not everybody fights. All right? Not everybody handles it that way. Some fight, some flight, some freeze, some flop. Some do different responses when it comes to trauma and when it comes to events like this. All right? Let's kick it back into this again. We're going to go to the second part of this video.
Liar! I thought you were going to buy some fucking trainers and you put a fucking direct debit on my fucking card. You're a fucking liar. You're a liar. You're a fucking liar. You're a liar. You are a liar. This guy then told me, yeah, that he had a plan. This whole thing was a move. He used me for a move. He used me for a move. And the move went wrong. It went wrong, yo. The move went wrong. The move went wrong. And I was left with 10. I was left with the debt, bro. He left me with the debt. The man I loved. He left me with the fucking debt. And you know he did that shit. I thought he was going to buy trainers. I thought I'd fucking hire a lawyer. I couldn't sleep. My mom had to take a plane from Africa to sleep with me. Fucking liar. I thought you were going to buy some fucking trainers.
Now, what's really interesting is that, you know, when trauma presents itself, you know, people can react. People who are on the opposite end, who haven't been traumatized by the event the person has, can take a very wildly different approach. They can show lack of empathy. And the reason why is because we don't want to handle it. Right? We don't want it packaged the way it's packaged. It's ugly packaged, and so we don't want to handle it. And so what people do will take their hands off it. Right? It's easier to cuss Lani Good. It's easy to throw Lani Good to the side. It's easy to say Lani Good is just eccentric. It's easy to say Lani Good just needs to let it go. It's easier to say Lani Good just forgive. Right? And it's interesting because those same people that will be screaming that Lani Good should forgive will say the church are really bad, and you know what, they how can they let abuse go? Well, we people hold double standards all the time. I'll be honest with you, right? The same people that would say like the church should be held accountable for abuse would say Lani Good, let it go, and yet she's been traumatized and abused by this person who's taken her finances, robbed her, makes millions of money, hundreds of thousands of pounds, and won't pay her back, but made a move on her and betrayed her in that moment. Because human beings are very complicated individuals, right? So, you know, in her moment right now, Lani Good, she's feeling some type of way. I get it, and it's 2 years strong and more, but the pain doesn't go away. You know, it numbs itself. But if we don't deal with the actual pain, all it does is it goes underneath the surface, and it's just waiting for someone else to prod that place, and she's going to fire up again, right? Let's go back in and just watch the last part of it. Like I said, it's strong language. I do apologize, but it's strong language again.
I was so suicidal. The only reason you kept fucking me is because I was fucked in the brain because of all the shit you did. This is not the only shit you did. You was mentally abusive. No matter what, because you don't know. He knows. I've done a YouTube video because he's saying there's no evidence. I've done a YouTube video of you paying for the deposit. In order to get something on finance, you need a deposit, whether it's a car, a watch. I have your name. It has your government name of you putting the deposit in my account so you could buy the watch. You never asked for my permission. I would have never given you that permission to do that. You done identity fraud on me. You are fucking prick. You are fucking prick. I was suicidal.
And now we've got a person who's pushed to the edge. Whether you think she's acting or not, doesn't make a difference. The person is now pushed to the edge. Push me to the... No. Stop. No, and that's where she's at the moment. And this is what can happen. Like I keep saying, you may think... And it's actually one of the things that really opened my eyes to my own behavior when I was younger about this being a reformed supervillain, right? Even the word supervillain sounds nice. F-boy sounds nice, right? How about I call you an emotional abuser? Suddenly, oh, it's not that deep. No. When we become manipulative, when we decide that we're going to use women, and vice versa, women too, I'm just saying this, but when we decide we're going to use women, when we want to bang fraud on their account, when we pretend as if we like them just to get sex, we go into emotional, mental, sexual abuse, right? See, when I label it like that, suddenly your ears are hurting because you understand the gravity of it. But when I say, oh, men just play, when I just say, oh, men just, you know how men are. When I say, oh, but you know how it goes, like sometimes men take advantage of you. It sounds okay until we put abuse next to the word. And everybody goes, oh, right? There's abuse that's happened here. And until the person's addressed it, it's going to be trouble. Now, Lani has her own issues. She now needs to go and heal. This is what happens also. The responsibility of healing now is still on you as an individual person. You can't wait for someone else. You must go and heal. If you've been offended by the person who's been abused, you still got to go and do the healing yourself. That's got nothing to do with them, right? They've hurt you and you're right, but you still got to do the work, right? But this is a woman who's on the edge. Let's listen. Okay? All right? So,
one time, Tionw asked...
For me... In this situation, I want people to pay attention to the gravity and the consequences of your actions. You're not free. I'm not free. I can't play and be free. You can't play and be free. You think you're playing a 16-year-old girl because you're 16 as a young man yourself, thinking it's fun. It's not fun. You think you're 18 playing an 18-year-old girl. It's not fun. You think you're 20 playing a 20-year-old girl. It's not fun. 30, 40, whatever age you are playing women, and vice versa for women too. But I'm specifically focused on the men because it was a man-to-woman situation. You're not funny. It's not cute, right? When it's presented like this, suddenly you realize how bad you are. When the person doesn't show this level of hurt and pain, you don't have no feelings towards it. Until the person's crying and saying they were on the edge and literally on the point of committing suicide, do you now suddenly open your eyes? But hey, like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification uploads. We appreciate you guys.